and move it all around. Get down, and move it all around. Hi dreamers and make-believers, in today's video I am doing the potato book tag. Come on now, Backstreet's got it. Come on now everybody, we got it going on for you. But first, you might have noticed that I did not post a video on Wednesday, and that is because I am covering at the summer camp of my old workplace, plus I am trying to write as much as I can this summer because it's been a year. My year off is coming to an end, and if I don't get an agent for Ashes of Legends in, say, the next 2 weeks, then I'm going to have to go back to working, and so I want to write as much as I can this summer just so that I'm ahead of my writing deadline schedule so that when I go back to work, I don't fall behind. So for that reason, last week it was just too chaotic for me to fit everything in, so I apologize for missing last Wednesday. Also, for the summer, I imagine that I'm going to be uploading twice a week as opposed to 3 times a week, just because it's the summer and people are on holiday, and like I said, all the things that I want to get done before the new school year gets started. So yes, I'm going to be uploading every Tuesday and Friday instead of every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday, just to give myself a little bit more time. And now that is out of the way, let us get into the tag. Think of one to make up on my own. Bookish questions related to potatoes. Question 1 is raw potato. They're raw, okay? But they can become whatever you wish. A character with the potential to be anything they wanted. For this, I am choosing 4 from the Divergent series. I don't know why, I just feel like he could do anything that he put his mind to. He has that determination, that passion, that focus. He could have just gone on to do anything with his life. He is a raw potato at the moment, but he could be a french fry. Question 2 is mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes, mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes, mashed potatoes. Smush banana, smush banana. I've forgotten how it goes. Mashed potatoes. It goes well with anything or alone. A character that would get along with anyone in any book, in any world. I think that Captain Thorn of the Lunar Chronicles is such a easygoing, lovable character that anyone in any world, in any book, would absolutely love him. His wit, his charm, his humor, his sarcasm. He's just so charming. He will win over anyone. He will win over zombies and convince them not to eat him. Like, Captain Thorn is just so great. What? Question 3 are baked potatoes. They are delicious also thanks to their filling. A book or series that is packed with information, but it's still enjoyable. For this, I'm going with the Red Rising series by Pierce Brown. It is so full of information. There is so much going on. There is so many different characters. There is small text. Actually, it's not that small. Anyways, there's so much happening in this book and in this book series, and you have to remember all the little details and all the little things, and there's a lot of information to take, and yet it is so captivating and so juicy, and it is a great baked potato. Question 4 is french fries. You can't stop eating them once you've started. A book or a series that you couldn't put down. I am usually quite a slow series reader because I like to take my time and feel the passage of time and really spend a long time in series worlds. However, one series where I read the first book and then I was like, you know what, I can't rest. I need to know what happens next, and I need to know what happens next until I get to the end, was Legend by Marie Lu. This series, I could not put it down. I was just like, what happens next? Tell me, french fries, tell me! Question 5 is chips or crisps, depending on where you're from, and it says that they're potatoes, but they're not real potatoes. They've been processed too much. So, name a book or a character that is labeled as something that they're not, or has labeled themselves as something that they're not. I am picking Selena Soldathian from the Throne of Glass series. For those of you that have read it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. For those of you that haven't read it, I'm not going to give spoilers, but let's just say that there's a lot more to Selena that meets the eye, and you discover that as the series progresses, and she's a crisp. She is not a full potato. Question 6 is boiled potatoes. So, plain. They would need some condiments, but what? So, a book that wasn't either good or bad, and what was lacking, in my opinion, to make it better. A few people may not agree with me on this one, but for me, a book that was like, it was nice, it passed the time, it was okay, but I didn't love it and I didn't hate it, I have no strong feelings towards it, whether good or bad, was The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I really enjoyed the idea of the story, the premise of the story, and I actually enjoyed the characters and everything that happened, and that circus is just magical and amazing, and I want to go to the Night Circus, but it didn't necessarily stick out for me. It wasn't one that I was like, ooh, this is just amazing, or that I was like, oh my gosh, that was terrible. It was just a boiled potato. And I guess for me, what I found lacking was the opportunity to truly connect with the characters. I felt like we were always kept at a distance, and I feel like that was intentional because it's supposed to be mysterious and, you know, woo, and time passes, and so much time passes, and there's so many different characters, and you just get like glimpses into them, I felt, at least. So in my opinion, for me, I felt that we weren't given enough time or enough insight into the characters to truly connect with them, and I think that that for me was what was lacking and just made it a boiled potato. Question 7 is potato soup. What book will always make me feel better, aka an anti-reading slump book? I have been fortunate to never have experienced this dreaded reading slump that people talk about. Not one word. For me, any new book will get me out of my reading slump because that's the kind of fiend that I am. So if I'm like, oh, I don't know what to read, even though I have 40 plus books on my shelf to read, if I go to the bookstore and find a new book, I'm gonna be like, yeah! And I'm gonna be so excited to read it. So at the moment, any new book can relate to the books that I have on my shelf, but I know sometimes I buy a new book, even though I don't need to buy the new book, and then I skip what I was supposed to read on my TBR and just read the new book because they are just too addictive. So for me, I think any new book could probably get me out of a reading slump, which I hope to never fall into. Question 8 is noche, a foreign potato recipe, a diverse book or character. For this, I am choosing 2, one for a diverse book and one for a diverse character, just because I want to highlight diversity more in YA fiction, and I also want to find more diverse reads, so I am going to be looking at other tags to find out what other people have said for this question. So one, of course, just came out this year, and I'm sure that all of you are not going to be surprised by it, and that is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi, which I am choosing as my diverse book for this answer because it is full of African characters. So every single cast member is of black ethnicity, and they have the Orisha and just their culture and their way of living and the things that they worship, etc., etc., and of course just the diversity of the world. For my diverse character, I am going with Maddie from Everything Everything. She is not only African American, but she is also Japanese American, so she is just a lovely mix of different ethnicities. Question 9 is roasted potatoes, crunchy on the outside, soft on the inside. A character that goes through hardships, but is still soft on the inside. I'm going with Will Herondale from the Infernal Devices series. This guy is just wonderful, and he has gone through so many hardships, which, as we discovered throughout the story, which explains a lot about why he is the way he is. However, on the inside, he is torn up, and he is soft and gooey and sweet and loving and charming and amazing. So he is definitely my roasted potato. Question 10 is a question that I can make up all by myself, and I'm gonna go with sweet potato, and I'm gonna say that it is deceptively delicious. By that I mean that if you've seen a sweet potato raw, it really does not look appealing. It is twisted and gnarled and just all kinds of wronged and scarred and just doesn't look that appetizing, and yet it is absolutely delicious. So I'm going with a deceptively delicious book or a deceptively delicious character. For me, I'm going to choose a deceptively delicious character. I am going with Rasan from the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. I'm sure you guys are not surprised to see him in this tag. Basically, he does come off very much so in this book as, you know, the dark, twisted, gnarled potato, but as you get to know him and just fall in love with him, he is definitely deceptively delicious, and just Rasan is just, I have no way of finishing that sentence, just Rasan. And that is all for the potato book tag. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I tag all of you to do it too. And until next time, I'll see you. Bye!